Welcome back, guys, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at our last formula for the coordinate geometry of a line. In this one we're going to be looking at what's called the angle between two lines. So if we have two lines that intersect here, an angle is formed on either side, and you can see from vertically opposite angles that those two angles are equal. And the formula that we have here is that the tan of theta is equal to the plus or minus m1 minus m2 plus m1 times m2. Where m1 would be the slope of line 1 and m2 is going to be the slope of line 2. And we can see this formula can be found here again on page 19 in our log tables, just under the last formula that we did on the perpendicular distance of a line. Okay, so let's look at example 1 here now. It says find the acute angle. Now remember, an acute angle is an angle that's less than 90 degrees. Between the lines y is equal to 2x plus 5 and 3x plus y equals 7. Well, we know that the only formula we have to do with an angle is this formula here about tan theta. And to be able to find that angle, what we need is the two slopes. So before I go any further, I need to find the slope of these two lines. Now to find the slope of a line, guys, we know that we're going to need to use our formula y is equal to mx plus c, because we're given the equation of a line and we need to find the slope. Which means in line 1 here, so let's call him line 1, we have y is equal to 2x plus 5. So my y is already isolated, which means that the number in front of x is my slope. So therefore m1 is equal to 2. However, in line 2 here, I can see that my y value is not isolated. So I need to bring my 3x over. So I get y is equal to minus 3x plus 7. So again, my slope is the number in front of my x value. So therefore, m2 is equal to minus 3. Okay, so now that I have the two slopes, I can use my tan formula to find the angle in between. So tan theta is equal to, now there is a plus or a minus here, but we're going to take it as the absolute value, the positive value. So the modulus is what we use to show that. 2 minus minus 3 all over 1 plus 2 by minus 3. Which means here, guys, I get tan theta is equal to 2 plus 3 is 5 all over 1 plus 2 by minus 3. 2 by minus 3 is minus 6 and 1 minus 6 is minus 5, which means we get the modulus of minus 1, which we're going to presume is positive 1. Okay, so we're now going to say that tan theta is equal to positive 1. Now a bit of revision from the junior cert. To bring tan over, we need to use what's called tan inverse. So tan inverse of 1 is how we write that. Theta is equal to tan inverse of 1. And to put that onto our calculator, what we're going to do here is shift and tan of 1, which gives me pi over 4. Now guys, that's my answer in radians. So we need to make sure here we have a little d up here in the corner. So I'm going to go shift and menu, 2 for angle unit and 1 for degrees. Now when I press it, I can see it's equal to 45 degrees. So therefore theta is equal to 45 degrees, which I know is my acute angle. Okay, so that was example 1, guys. Pause the video there. Let's make sure that we add example 1 into our notes, and then now we're going to look at example 2. Example 2 is using the same formula, but we need to remember a few things about the equation of a line. So here it says find the equation of the line. So as soon as it says find the equation of a line, I know I'm going to eventually have to use y minus y1 is equal to m by x minus x1. Of the two lines, so I should have two answers here, through the point 2, 3, so this is going to be my x1, y1 for my formula, which makes the angles of 45 degrees with the line 2x, x minus 2y equals 1. Well, as soon as I see this, I know I need to use my tan theta formula. And to use my tan theta formula, I need to find the slope of this line. So to find the slope of this line, and I'm going to call this line 1. To find the slope of this line here, that means we're going to have to isolate the y using the exact same method. So I have minus 2y is equal to minus x plus 1. Divide everything by minus 2, which gives me a half x minus a half, because I'm dividing everything here by minus 2. Which means therefore my slope is whatever value is in front of my x, which is 1 over 2. So m1 here is going to be 1 over 2. So I'm now going to use my tan theta formula to try and find m2. So tan theta is equal to plus or minus m1 minus m2 all over 1 plus m1 times m2. Well, tan theta, they've told me that theta is 45, so it's really the tan of 45 degrees is equal to plus or minus m1, which we just said was a half, minus m2 all over, all over 1 plus m plus a half by m2. So tan of 45 we've just said is 1, okay? So we just know that 1 is equal to plus or minus a half minus m2 all over 1 plus a half m2. Okie dokie. So now we're getting somewhere. So now I need to find m2 here. And to be able to find m2, the first thing I'd see is that I could multiply the top and the bottom here by 2 to get my fractions out of the way. Okay, so I'm just going to move up here. Sorry, you can't see the end of the board. And I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom of my fraction by 2. I don't have to multiply the other side because all I'm doing is finding an equivalent fraction, which now gives me that 1 is equal to plus or minus 1 minus 2m2 all over 1 plus 2m2. Okay? Or sorry, 2 plus 2m2. So now my answer could be a plus or it could be a minus. And sorry, I'm going to multiply both sides here by 2 plus 2m2 to try and get them to cancel. Which means now, guys, I'm going to have 1 by 2 plus 2m2 is 2 plus 2m2 is equal to plus or minus 1 minus 2m2. So this is where now I'm going to have two different slopes, which will help me find two different equations of the line. So now I'm going to assume that one is going to be a plus equation, and I'm going to assume that one is going to be a minus equation. So I'm going to try and do those in two different colours to help us separate them. So the first time I'm going to have 2 plus m2 is equal to 1 minus 2m2. So that's assuming that it's positive. The second time I'm going to assume that I have 2 plus 2m2 is equal to minus by 1 minus 2m2. So I'm going to get two values for 2m2 doing it this way. So that means I'm going to bring my m2s to one side and my numbers to the other. So I get 4m2 is equal to minus 1. So m2 here then would be equal to minus 1 over 4. Okay? Yeah, perfect. Which means then that I'm going to do the same over here. Sorry. So now I have 2 plus 2m2 is equal to minus 1 plus 2m2, which means here now I'm going to have bring my 2m2 over and they're going to cancel. Sorry guys. Now I've made a little error, so we're going to look here and see my error. 2 by a half just gives me 1. So he should actually just be 1m2, which means he should be just an m2. He should just be an m2. He should just be an m2, which is going to change it from here down. Apologies about that, guys. Sorry. Now, going back over here, so that means I'm going to have m2 is equal to, bring my 2 over to the other side, and I have I'm going to have 3m2 is equal to minus 1, which means m2 is going to equal minus 1 over 3. Then on this side over here, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to have 2 plus m2 is equal to minus 1 plus 2m2, which means I'm going to bring him over and him across, so I get 3 is equal to m2. So now I have two different slopes. Apologies again about that little mix up there. So now I have to find the two equation of a line formula. Okay, so to do this one now, I'm going to have two different times where I'm going to use 2 and 3 as my x1, y1, and I have my different slopes. So I have y minus y1 is equal to m by x minus x1. So I'm going to have y minus 3 is equal to minus 1 over 3 by x minus 2. I'm going to multiply everything here by 3 to try and get rid of the fraction. Multiply by 3 to try and get rid of the fraction, which is going to cancel him and him. So I get 3y minus 9 is equal to minus x plus 2. So I'm going to bring him over and bring everything to the same side. So I get x plus 3y minus 11 is equal to 0. And this is my first equation of a line. Now I'm going to go back over here and do the same thing. So I have y minus y1 is equal to m by x minus x1. Again, I'm using 2 and 3. So I get y minus 3 is equal to 3 by x minus 2. Which means I get y minus 3 is equal to 3x minus 6. So bring everything over and I get minus 3x plus y plus 3 is equal to 0. So now I have my two equations of the line that would form a 45-degree angle with the original equation of the line. Again guys, sorry for any confusion caused by my error in multiplying here, but take a second, pause this video, go back over the method, and then we're going to try a few questions. Thanks guys, see you next time.